Yo, what is up, guys? It's Bankrupt Dope, back again with another video, and today we are back on some Chaos Zero Nightmare. Now, before we hop into anything today, hope you're having a good day today. If you're not having a good day, hope your day gets better. You already know the drill. Now, today we gotta talk about the seasons going forward, right? Like, I feel like this game does a good amount of things right, and I feel like there's a good amount of things they can also just do better, right? And I'm here to talk about that, and just give my thoughts about a couple of things and just, some, I guess, fears that I have going forward with this game, right? So, obviously, I love the game. A lot of us, if we're all playing the game right now, we probably still like the game, right? It's good, right? But there's a few things that they definitely need to work on. And the first one comes out to being character, like when the next character's coming out and what they do. Because as it stands, right, we have 5 days left on Serenio, right? That's it. And then a new character drops. And to this moment, we still don't know what type of character she is in terms of like we know I think we know that she's instinct based off the website, right? But like, what if you don't even use the website, right? Like, what if there's somebody who just really is an ultra casual? They don't watch YouTubers, they don't go to the website, but they watch the in-game YouTube's like they watch CZN's YouTube in particular just to know what's coming out. They just be lost, bro. Like they just take too long to tell us what's up. And like I said, the only thing we know is that the character is instinct. Other than that, we have no other information. And that's a problem. And what I mean by that, like we don't know if the character is psionic, ranger, hunter, or a controller, or a striker, or a vanguard. We don't know that. That info is not known to us at this current moment. So, what does that mean? That means we can't, one, we don't know the promotion materials that we need to be farming. And we just don't know, right? What else? That also means we don't know what partner materials to be farming, right? Like that's a problem. It's just a problem. Period. Right. It needs to be fixed. They need to start letting us know this information earlier. Right. Because I'm gonna be honest. This game already has a lot of grind in it, and it's like, in my opinion, having all this grinding it only gets more irritating as time goes on for some people. Some people will eventually just burn out, right? And everybody will just say, "Oh, well, just don't do this and don't do that." That's not the point. At some point, a grind gets burnt out in a game like this because there's only so much we can actually do. Grind in other games don't feel as bad because there's so many things to do, but there's just not that much to do in this kind of game. Like at the end of the day, it's a gotcha game, right? But yet you're a gotcha game filled with grind. And yes, it is a good loop, right? I'm obviously going into the Lab Zero and Zero system. It's a good loop, but the grind, all the grind in this game, it gets irritating, right? So not knowing what to be getting for the characters now makes it more annoying when the character comes out because like, okay, now I got to go get the character, but now you're playing the stamina game, right? Now you start playing the stamina game, right? Because let's say in 2 days or tomorrow we finally get the PV. That means you have 4 days of stamina to grind all your materials up in terms of getting your partner and your character promotion materials, right? But then we're not done there, right? Now maybe I think they would have announced it, so I'm gonna say that this is not happening. But is there gonna be a new set that we need to farm, right? You might not have a set that even fits the character, right? So then what else would you have to do? Which, once again, since we don't know it, you wouldn't be farming it, but we don't know what memory fragments the character needs, right? We just hope that we have what we need now, but we don't know what to get. So now, once again, if the PV comes out today, like in this night, or it comes out tomorrow, either way, we have less than 6 days to then grind character promotion materials, partner promotion materials, and then memory fragments. And then I'm assuming there is no new dungeon because they didn't announce it, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's told to us beforehand. So at least we know it's not a new thing we need to grind. But even then, if it's the character doesn't require a 222, chances are you don't have the 4-piece set prepared for the character. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you might or you might not. It's just a question of do you have it or not, and then the question is, do you have anything good, because it might be on another character, so you might have it, but it might not be available to use on your new character, right? And it just doesn't feel good, right? Because like, yes, I might theoretically have a phenomenal set for Naja on someone, but it's not meant for it. It's on someone else. You know what I mean? So it's all like that's 3 sets of things that we now have to grind in under 6 days because they ton this character so dang on late, and it just doesn't feel good. Let us know what the characters do earlier. Give us a week, man. At least can we get a week? I genuinely don't think that's too much to ask for. I'm not even asking for the kit, right? Not even asking for the kit, which people also want the kit because, like, once again, if you don't want the character, right, and you spend all your time grinding all the resources, and then the character gets here and it's like, oh crap, I don't want the character. You essentially wasted stamina, and technically you didn't, right? Because you can use it for the next instant character, but maybe you have a character on your account that you wanted to build up, but then you didn't. You stopped building up one of these characters because you were saving all the materials for the character that you may or may not wanted to get, like the new character. But then it's like, oh crap, well, I grinded a whole bunch of instinct potential, and all my instinct characters are already built up. So now you just essentially have days wasted. And granted, if that's the case, it's like, oh well, just pivot and start building somebody else. Who cares? You're gonna go a whole 2 weeks without using it anyway, so you'll be good. You'll build all of it back up. But you get my point, right? It's like, yes, I get it. It's like, okay, you just get to save materials, you get to work on something else. Yes, that is true, but it still doesn't feel good. No matter how you want to slice it, it doesn't feel good to either pre-farm and then not want the kit because the kit's bad, or not farm at all, and then it turns out you want the character because the information that we get either way you want to slice it just leads to interesting ways of playing the game. Let's put it like that. All right. Next, this goes into my next point, or this goes based on my last point. I said there's too much grind. The season data. Can I be so dead serious with y'all? Can I be 1,000% with y'all? Let me keep it serious, right? Unless there are very, 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 very few reasons somebody is truly going to be willing to get saved data for all of their characters every single season. There's only a few players who are doing this, right? And I don't even know. I want to Serena. She has all data, right? One, you're a content creator. It's just a fact. Content creators who make any kind of money off of this content, they are immediately incentivized to want to play the content. So no matter how you want to slice it, they are already biased, right? A lot of people say, "Oh, it's not that bad." Don't believe that. They are biased. They are making income from the content. So whatever content that keeps them in the game longer, it feels good. In my opinion, a content creator's idea of what's good or bad in terms of how much time we have to spend on the game is irrelevant because they are being paid. Period. Right? And yes, they might say, "Oh, I do it for the love of the game." That may be true, but at the end of the day, you are being paid. So therefore, you're a content creator who's being paid, that their opinion on this subject just is not that valid. But even if I was there, I would say take it with a grain of salt because my time usage and time playing the game is fundamentally different from somebody who is not a content creator to make money. It's just how it is, okay? So all that to say, right? I don't feel like sitting here going into a chaos trying to find the perfect deck, repeated perfect deck for every character every season, right? Because that's the thing that's thrown at you, right? When people say, "Oh, there's nothing new," oh well, I bet you don't have seasonal data for all the characters. I sure don't, because who can be bothered? How many average people who have to work a normal job really want to sit here, go from their work, take their shower, eat their food, do whatever else they have to do, and then spend an hour in chaos every single day to not get a good deck, to then do it again the next day, then do it again the next day, and then do it again the next day, and then do it again the next day. So you finally get the right deck, and then move on to the next character, to do the same thing to get the perfect deck that you had last season, to then do it again for the next character until you get that deck, and then move to the next character, just to replicate the deck that we already were using in the previous season, even though we know it's gonna get wiped out for the next season. You see, like it gets a little ridiculous, right? So like their idea of seasonal save data, it makes sense, but it feels a little bad to think about, right? And somebody's gonna say, "Oh well, bro, you don't need the seasonal save data for simulation." That's facts. That is facts. We sure don't. Oh, but you don't need seasonal data for the basic. That's also facts. You sure don't. And bro, you don't even need it for the little tower mode. That is also facts. But until the tower mode gets here so far, I mean, granted, like I said, obviously these things will change as time get here, and we'll be able to have a better insight. But as of now, maybe the spiral will take up more time. But as it stands now, I would say the very, very, very first half of this season felt very good. After the first half, and when I say half, I mean I'm talking about supply store halves, right? After this first supply, these other seasons felt very, very, very bad in my opinion. It just did not feel good, and I need to get the rest of this crap. Oh my goodness, bro! It just didn't feel good. Why didn't it feel good? Because it just felt like we were doing the same thing. It just did. You got the Nebula distortion, which is just a fat stat stick that is like, hey, kill me now or you lose. Like it's not these are, in my opinion, are not enjoyable fights. It's the worst kind of content. It's something that I expect in the game later on in line, not now. Going into a boss fight that doesn't show any skill expression. It's just you either boom me now or I boom you. It doesn't feel that good. And now obviously we going here to test things, right? Because granted, they have all these like defensive buffs. So you say if I can kill this person really fast, that lets you know that your deck's probably strong and that your team build is good and that you can probably kill everything in the game. Because on 9-9, these bosses are stacked. So if you can kill these things pretty easily, you can kill everything. But outside of that, I don't really like this. And yes, I cleared up, but I just didn't like this. Didn't feel good to me. Because here we are in the first half of this game lifespan, and my challenging content is stuff that can one-shot me. And yes, you're not getting one-shot, right? Obviously, right? It takes a couple turns, but like by turn 6, I'm dead with no counterplay, essentially. For a lot of teams, there is just no counterplay after turn 6. You are just dead on a lot of teams. And yes, I face rolled these events. And when I meant to, or I bashed the face. Like, I went in here with Yuki until I won, which took multiple resets until I freaking won. But it didn't feel good, right? So that's my next thing, right? So somebody's gonna be like, I'm just saying, all that to say, waiting for each half to get one of these bosses didn't really cut it. If I'm being so serious, it just didn't cut it. Because once again, we spent so much time in here. This is all of our content right here. The whole reason we're grinding the new seasonal save data, right, is to use it in these 3 things. And like, just work with me. It's such a weird thing how this works, right? Because the argument is that currently stands, right? Every other content except the season content does not require your seasonal save data, which is true. But objectively, most people spend most of the time doing seasonal activities. Even though there is more things in the overall game that is not required, we spend most of our time here. And yes, even if Tower comes out and I don't have to use my seasonal save data, this may be true. It still doesn't change the fact that every season I have to check my data again. Why? Why though? That's truly how I feel about that. Why though? Just let me use my character as is. I think that the idea of stacking more grind because they want the playtime. That's all it is. It is purely a playtime thing. It is to force playtime. I don't think it's needed. I just don't think it's something needed. And that is the one thing that I despised about the new gen gacha is this idea of playtime meaning better game. No, the freak it doesn't. Please, new gen gacha creators, please stop pushing this playtime is it means we're good gacha, because it's just not true. There are so many gacha games that do not have high playtime that are still considered great gachas. And I use Dokimetal as a old gen gacha. It's still considered a good gacha, and that game's playtime required the playtime that I need in that game isn't needed. It's not high. For most people, their playtime is not high. New event comes out, you beat it, you're done, right? And you go about your day. I would say the same can be said for Star Rail. You get in, new gacha comes out, you beat it, you're done. But they still make all their revenue, right? And you had a good time. And some people might say, oh, well, that's why season is better because I gotta have more things to do. But do you have more things to do? Or you have to do things. You know what I'm saying? It's not that you have more things, you have to do things. You have to run the chaos mode to get the deck that you want. To get something viable, to actually participate in the things that are on this screen. You have to grind here to compete in Nebula Distortion to actually beat the bosses. You have to get a competent deck and deck build to go into the Nebula Distortion. You have to build a good deck to go into the Great Rift. Or you have to build a very particular deck to go into the Great Rift. Right? You know what I'm saying? You have to go into the chaos to get the premium rewards that are here. You know what I'm saying? You have to do these things. These are not really that optional because the bulk of our rewards are all in here. It's just what it is. All of our rewards for this past season are here. Yes, we got some pools for logging in and things like that, but the bulk of playing rewards were right here in this season. So no matter how you want to slice it, you gotta get into the season. You know what I mean? And it's like I said, just after a while, I'm not gonna be thrilled or want to or will be logging on to continue to do chaos runs, especially when your deck's built. That's not good. At the end of the day, the whole point of chaos is a means to an end. What is the point of doing chaos? To get a deck. Why the freak do we still have to keep doing chaos when you already have a deck? You get what I mean? It's a little, it's redundant. It's not a little, it is redundant that we have to continue running chaos when there's no need. I don't need to run this. My teams are built. And to say, oh, well, you need to go in with every single character you have other character, that's a ridiculous argument. And you know it is. Right? It's ridiculous to say, oh, well, just go in with other teams. Like, no, I don't want to go in with every single character on my account for 1 hour to get a mid deck because of the sake of content. Like, no, what are we talking about? It just doesn't make sense for a lot of people. A lot of people are just not gonna do it. So yeah, that is my thoughts on seasonal save data. I get why they're doing it. They want us to experiment. But I think in the long run, it's gonna get more people off than it's gonna get on. If I'm being so serious. Obviously, the core will stay fundamentally the same, but I don't think they're gonna pick up a lot of new people. And if they do pick them up, they're gonna drop off. It's like, bro, I'm not gonna keep grinding this. People already have that as a problem. It's how long chaos takes. So to know that we have to keep looking forward to always doing chaos just doesn't feel good. The initial part of chaos is great, but you know that I have to keep running it over and over again for the sake of getting rewards. Because if you let's just be fair, let's be serious. If you don't get those rewards, your account will suffer. So let's not even say, oh well, you don't need it. Yes, you do. You need those things on rewards. That's that. That was long, but I'm done, and I hope it made sense. And finally, double XP. I have to do better with that one. That double XP was trash. Was that 5 days of? Was it 5 or 6 days of logging in, and you got double rewards for essentially two? It was 12 runs, but it was 2 runs. If you get what I'm saying. If you went into simulation and you clicked put not partner. I guess you could have clicked partner, but if you click potential, you click your world, right? You did your attempts here, went in, it gave you a double reward, and then you went in again and gave you a double reward again. So yeah, I got 6 extra sets of rewards, which is nice, but like not really. It's nice, but like not really. I got to farm passion. This is what I have to show for that double XP, which it's a lot. It really is, but it just feels like it could be more. It really does, right? Because even with the addition of this thing over here, where is it? This thing over here, this is still just more chaos. So I'm glad this exists. I really am, but like, not many people are clearing this thing out because this is a lot of grind. Like I said, chaos just in general does not feel that good to continue to play all day, every day without an incentive of content creator, or you just don't have anything to do. If you have things to do, you just don't have the time, and you don't want to spend your time with doing something so time consuming all the time. As simple as that. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I think that they need to increase the double drops, maybe do a triple or quadruple, make it just feel a little bit more like a bang for my buck, and I could actually switch between the days, try different things out. But as it was, I didn't want to switch because like I just didn't get that many rewards. So I felt like I needed to continue to do it. I just needed to invest in one thing and call it a day. Couldn't really pivot that much. And like I said, for the next character releasing, all we know is she's freaking instinct. So it's like I can't even prepare. Like let me prepare beforehand. I don't want to prepare in the last minutes, bro. Let me prepare longer than that. And then obviously seasonal save data. And it goes in hand with chaos. Like either one, we reduce chaos, time spent in chaos, which is gonna be will require a massive overhaul. It really would. It is a lot easier to say, oh, just reduce the chaos playtime. That's a lot harder said than done. Because think about it, you can get boss fights, you can get elites, you can get super boss fights, you can get Cthulhu, you can get so many things in the first 4 columns that just saying reduce the playtime. How do they do that? I couldn't tell you. It's not for me to figure out, but it will require an entire overhaul. So I'm not sure how they make the chaos feel better in the long term for anybody that's not a hardcore. Yeah, I really don't know how you do it. It really does feel like chaos becomes a hardcore thing after a while, and it does lose its sauce and its flair real fast for anybody that's just not ultra dedicated to the cause. So yeah, that's it. I know that was long-winded, and I might have lost you somewhere in there because I do talk off top. I don't make a script. I probably should do that one of these days, make script for these videos, but I never do. I just like to chat. Now that way, if somebody's like, I don't know, if you happen to have YouTube Premium and you're watching me like while you're doing something, you can just hear me. Like I'm just in the background talking. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Let me know how you feel in the comments. You might agree with me, you might disagree with me. That's okay. But one thing I do want people to start doing is be your own man, right? I feel like a lot of times people live through other people. And what I mean by that is a lot of people in internet history will follow after a creator or a figure's narrative. Please don't be that person. Follow your own narrative. Be nice with it though, obviously. Like it's okay to disagree or agree with someone. That's perfectly fine. Disagree with somebody, kind of, hey, like, I think what you're saying makes sense, like, but I don't necessarily agree with that. And we'll be like, okay, cool. But like, don't also just blindly follow people because they're figure. Like a lot of times people do just blindly follow people because they're figure. Like, oh, well, Blank said so, so therefore it must be right. No, because they're just a person, just like you and just like I am. We're all valuable, right? No, none of our opinions outside of math for these games is inherently better than anybody else's. You get what I'm saying? Outside of just math, nothing else is set in concrete. So your biggest YouTuber might have an opinion, but it might not necessarily apply to a lot of people. Like it applies to that person, it applies to that YouTuber, but it shouldn't just be a shadow casted opinion across the whole community because that person said it, and that's how they felt about it. So everybody should feel the same way. It just shouldn't be like that. So yeah, just wanted to be said for people that do end up commenting. If you do comment, it's completely okay for you to disagree with me. I do not care. Go for it. But also, don't hit me with the I disagree with you because this content creator said that, so I'll just go with this. That also, I would say that that's the worst way to go about disagreeing, right? Because it's like it's not what you feel, it's what your favorite content creator feels. Like don't be like that, you know. That's it. This was very, very long-winded. I'm done talking. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.